What's up, math fans? I know what you're thinking. I should be out celebrating Sweater Fridays, but I'm here with you because I want you to do well on your midterms. So, for circles, you learned a bunch of different stuff, and I don't want you to get it confused because there's a lot of different topics that you can learn in circles. So if you get tested on circles and you might see a question like this, you might, wink wink, you should know what you're doing. So one category that you already know is inscribed angles, and another one is central angles. Please know the difference. Here I'm looking at a central angle. Right away I know the measure of my central angle is equal to the measure of that intercepted arc. So if they ask you a question like this and they say solve for x, you know that this is equal to this. All I need is the pink line or the pink arc. Well, what's given is not the pink arc. Obviously, test questions are not going to be such easy one-step questions. You got to use what you know to find out some other stuff. Well, if I know this part is 280, this pink part has got to be 360 minus 280, and that's 80 degrees. So the pink part, the pink arc, also known as the minor arc, is 80 degrees. So x is the same thing as the intercepted arc, and it's also 80 degrees. The end. Pretty straightforward. It was only 2 steps, and they were 2 very easy steps. Hopefully, you stay with me on this one. So this one, what am I looking at? I'm looking at a tangent line and a tangent line. So even before I look at the question, what do I know about tangent lines? They form right angles with the radius. But I purposely showed you the centers here, so this line is not the radius. Can't use the right angle idea. What else do I know? They are congruent to each other, the 2 tangent lines from an external point, P, let's say. They're congruent to each other. So now I'm looking at an isosceles triangle, which I learned way back. What do you remember about isosceles triangles? Is this angle is congruent to this angle. So let's say they got to give you some kind of information. So let's say they say this angle is 70, solve for x. Okay, well, what do I know? If this angle is 70, you can now fill in that angle. Oh, I guess that's 70. And 70 plus 70 is 140. We're going to subtract 140 from 180. And that's going to give us our vertex of the isosceles triangle. So that should be 180 minus 140 is 40. So here, x equals 40. In this question, x equals 80 was for that question. All right, let's go. Let's look at 3. These all, I put the center again away from the line to show you that I'm not looking at the diameter, so I'm looking at 2 intersecting chords. Do you remember what you learned about chords? I remembered a couple of things. One of the things I remember is the measure of this angle here is equal to 1/2 the sum of the intercepted arcs. I hope you remember that. So this arc plus this arc divided by 2 equals that. You did learn that already. I have a whole video on it. Check it out to refresh your memory. So my formula is 120 plus 2x divided by 2 is going to give me 4x. Oh, I actually have to do math for this one. So I'm going to put the 4x over 1, and I'm going to cross multiply. So that's going to give me, I'll go this way first. 120 plus 2x times 1 is still 120 plus 2x. 4x times 2 is 8x, so that equals 8x. You got to have some kind of algebra skills here. Subtract 2x on both sides. 120 equals 6x, divide by 6, and figure that out, and there's your answer. X equals 6 into 12 is 2. Bring the 0, x equals 20. Once you find x, if they ask you to find x, you're done. They might ask you to find this arc, so just plug in 20 here. 2 times 20 is 40. Or they might ask you to find this angle, so plug in 20 here. 4 times 20 is 80. Once you find one thing, you can find all the other pieces, just like a puzzle. Okay, next, look at number 4. It looks a lot like number 3, doesn't it? They just move around the puzzle pieces a little bit. So, if I have 40 and 100, and I need x, I'm going to use the same formula. So I'm going to get my, you might even want to bring a highlighter to the test. I bet you that helps you. So if I want x, I know it's this plus this divided by 2. However, I don't know this. What a fail, right? No, because I know other things about circles, like the whole way around measures 360 degrees. So halfway around equals 180, and I already know that's 100. So I am missing 80, because 180 minus 100 is 80. Oh, now I can do it. 40 plus 80 divided by 2 is equal to my unknown angle. So you do some fancy math there. 80 plus 40 is 120, divided by 2 is 60, and you get x equals 60. Not as hard as you thought, all right? Any question that looks crazy is only because it looks crazy. Once you break it down, you can figure it all out. Last one, stay with me. It's gonna be worth it. This guy, this says that the ratio of A to C, the measure of A to C is in a ratio to the measure of C to B in a 1-to-4 ratio, okay? A to C and C to B are in a ratio of 1-to-4. That means for every 1 degree in AC, CB has 4 degrees. For every $1 I give you, I give Billy $4. All right? That means this is 4 times the size as this. When I see ratios like this, right away I'm either thinking, do I make a ratio problem, or do I just say this is 1x, for every 1x, this guy gets 4x. So now I find my AC, and I write 1x. And then I find my CB, and I write 4x. And they're also going to say that this is a perpendicular line here. And they're also going to say, find measured angle DBC. DBC is here. I don't know what that is, but I do know that it might help to solve for x. So what do you know? This plus this is what? A semicircle, half a circle. So I know that x plus 4x equals, it's got to be natural for you to know that's 180 by now. 5x equals 180, divide by 5, and x equals, I don't know, whatever that is. 3, that's 30, so that's 36. Check my math, 36. X equals 36. Nobody cares about x, they want angle DBC. They want this angle here, DBC. This angle behaves, technically it's not an inscribed angle, but it behaves the same as an inscribed angle. It's half of the intercepted arc. This angle is half of this arc, so it's half of 4x. Well, if x is 36, that's 36 times 4. That's 144. This angle is 1/2 of 144, which I hope is 72 degrees. Okay? Any questions, put it in the comment section. I'll get back to you. I think you're going to do great on this midterm. Thanks for watching. See ya.